Hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. So excited you're here for week 5 of Halloween-a-thon. Didn't get to do everything I wanted to do, but I did manage to go to a pumpkin patch. Got to meet CJ Leede, author of Maeve and American Rapture. I was the guest on Hitting the Streets podcast and was able to read 3 books. So before we get into it, here's a little clip. And I'm back. So you got to see, we were able to go to a pumpkin patch. Just went to a local one, didn't go to one of the big ones because I am back to my energy being in the gutter. I'll go like a few weeks and even sometimes a few months where I feel fine, and my version of normal, not probably not everybody else's version of normal, but my version of normal, where I can function. But then I'll go like a week or two or a few weeks like where I don't feel fine, and that's where I'm at now, where my joints hurt all the time, like I am living with a heating pad just alternating on different joints, and my energy is in the gutter. So it's all I can do to just do the things I have to do. So we went to like the local pumpkin patch, which doesn't require too much energy. So, and that was just because it's something that my kids expect, and they love going, so I went. They have like a little that you get to see animals. You can't really pet them. They don't really have it to where you can like really pet them. We kind of try to pet the goats, but they really don't like that. The goats really don't like it. They just want to be fed. So the goats were pumpkin and cinnamon. They were really cute. And then they have a couple of potbelly pigs. They have chickens. And then they have like this giant like jumping thing the kids can jump on and get their energy out. They have these giant rolling things that you could roll in. And then they have human foosball. So you could go in and they have a ball that you can like, it's human foosball. So you can like, you have to stay on your post and then you can kick the ball. We didn't do that. And then they have these corn cannons and pumpkin cannons. You have to pay extra for. We did not do that because we're on a spending freeze because I'm trying to save money for Christmas. So we didn't do any like extra stuff. And then they have like rubber duck races. And then you take a hayride down to the pumpkin patch. And then there are all these like pumpkins. They're spread out. So they have like, it's really cute the way they have it. I got some footage of that you probably saw, but you just go and you pick your pumpkin. And then I like the ones with like fun, like the stems have to be really cute and fun. I don't know what it is about that. It's really, that's the fun. And then they have where you could like dress a scarecrow. My kids used to love that. They don't get as into the scarecrows anymore. They're getting older. They're 9 and 11 now. But the scarecrows to me are really cute. So you go down and you pick your pumpkin, and then you can hop on the hayride back. Didn't stay there too long. You know, we just stayed long enough to do a few things and then get the pumpkin, and then we went back home. And then we were gonna carve it. We haven't done that yet. I'm usually the one that carves it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to yet. I want to. If I can't do it for next week, which by the time you're watching this, it'll be this week. But if I can't carve it by next week, then either my husband will carve it, or maybe I'll see if my son can. He's old enough now that I think maybe he could do it without chopping his finger. I don't know. I don't know if my daughter definitely, she's too wild to be carving pumpkins, but my son might be able to. So either my son or my husband will do it if I can't. But I'm usually the one that carves it. So we'll see. But either way, it will get carved, and you will see it in the next video, one way or another. And then I got to meet CJ Leede. That was really fun. She's very down to earth. I love that she doesn't just rush you through when she's signing books. Like, she'll actually talk to you, and she'll ask, like, you know, what are your plans for Halloween? What are you dressing up as? And she's just really nice. I'll show you what I got. It was really cool. So, well, first of all, I'll show you the books. I had Maeve fly already, but I took it up there for her to sign. And it says, Ashley, happy haunting. Love that. And then I bought American Rapture. I love that it like sparkles. Do you see the little, it like sparkles. And then she wrote, Ashley, you rock, keep it simple. And then the first 20 people got tote bag, an American Rapture tote bag. And then the back has this. It says, I went to the American Rapture tour and all I got was this Catholic guilt. Love it. And then I got some merch. I'll show you. I love the sticker. It's holographic. And it says, forgive me, Father. I'm obsessed with it. I got this pen. It says Late Night Forbidden Book Club. And it has like a little bit of sparkle. Love that. Can you see it? I don't know how well you can see that, but I love it. And then they had these like tarot cards, kind of, from, I'm guessing, characters from the book. And they each have quotes on the back. Like this one says, music heals, knowledge heals. When those fail, there's alcohol and chocolate. Saint Cleo the Empress. And then we have, who's this? Saint Ben the Light. This one says, it's our job to find hope wherever we can, especially when life is terrible and dark. It's our job to find the beauty and the light. This one is Saint Helen the Seraph. How do you say that? I don't know. It says, some people spend their whole lives waiting for the moment the rules go out the window. I love that. Saint Bargast the Hellhound. He growls, low and steady, slobber dripping and pooling below him, but he takes one step toward my hand, lowers his face to it, he sniffs. This one is Saint Sophie the Virgin. The body is just another cage, like the house or the family or the church or the town. And then we have Saint Mauro the Paladin. And he's roughed up. What happened to him? I hope you like your life, you just get one. So those are really great. And then the last two things are like postcards. Lust drags you down to hell. Greatness. And this one, welcome to Wisconsin. It was really cool because there was a Q&A, and it was really neat hearing her, like how her ideas came about and the reasoning for writing American Rapture. And also, like, this one's based in Wisconsin. The next one's going to be based in Colorado. and it involves cannibals, which sounds really cool. And I think it's coming out in 2025. I think she said 2025, which stoked about. And eventually she wants a book. She wants to write a novel from every state. And she has like several in the works already, but it's like she has half of all these books done. So they had a local author up there, and she was asking her questions too, and then she took questions from the audience. It was just really cool. It was really cool. It was a really cool experience. Also, I took one picture there, so here's a picture. Not the best picture of me, like I felt like crap, but like you could always tell because of my posture and stuff. But it's the best I could do. And then I was on Hitting the Streets podcast. This is a local podcast to Sherman, Texas, and it was pretty quick. It was a pretty quick podcast, like 20 something minutes. But I just had a lot of fun talking to Shell. She is she's the mastermind of the podcast. She's just a lot of fun. But if you guys want to listen to it, you can find it on like Apple Podcast, Spotify. I'll link the one for Spotify. That's the one that I have. And she asked me to bring 10 books because she's challenging herself to finish 10 more books by the end of the year. She's behind on her reading goals. And she just messaged me, or she emailed me like a couple days before time for me to go, and was like, hey, can you bring me 10 books, like 10 quick reads? And that's all she asked me for. Like, I know that she's into horror, but I didn't know like triggers, I don't know much about her because I've only met her a couple months ago. So I'm like, wow, I was very excited because somebody asked me to recommend them 10 books. I am stoked. But then I started to second guess it, like she's gonna think I'm weird, she's gonna think I'm fucked up because I read a lot of really weird things. So, but anyways, I found 10 books that she could read in like 1, maybe 2 sittings, except for one was chunkier because I kind of ran out of shorter books that weren't too effed up and also that weren't, crap. So, I was trying to find good books that were shorter, but anyways, that weren't too messed up. So I took them up there, and I'm like, hey, if any of these are too messed up, please don't unfriend me. And also, if you get to reading them and they're not for you, just let me know and I'll like come back up here with a replacement. Not a big deal. So I really want to see if she wants to come on my channel maybe in December once she's read them, and maybe you guys can meet her because I think you would love her. I know she's not camera shy at all, and she's obviously not shy to talk because she has a podcast. I think you guys would love her, and I think it would be really cool for you guys to meet her and see what she thinks about my book recommendations. I think that would be really fun, and I know she would not shy away, and she would not be dishonest. She would tell me if she hated it, which I think would be really fun. So I'm going to see about getting her on here in December. I'm going to ask her. It would be really cool for you guys to meet her. Otherwise, I read 3 books. So let's get into those. Sorry for rambling so much. Didn't read any movies because by the time I did all the things, and I read books like in between homeschooling the kids, like while they were working on their stuff, I would read books. By the end of the day, I would just sleep. So, because I was exhausted. But I did manage to read 3 books. There was no movie watching. But first one I read was Spookily Yours by Jennifer Chipman. I was wanting something cozy, witchy, Halloween vibes, and it started off that way. I'm like, hey, this is very unique and very fun, and it was giving me very witchy, cozy, exactly what I wanted. Yeah, so this lady, she's a witch, and she adopts this cat, this black cat, and it starts off very cute, and the cat turns out to be a demon, and this demon needs her help, like undoing the curse to where he can go back to being a demon. Well, she ends up falling for this demon. So that's all very cute, very unique, a very unique premise. And I thought, hey, this is really cool. I've never read anything like this before. The town is very autumnal, and very Halloween because it's a town of witches. And I love the relationship between her and her sister, because her sister owns a bakery. So and she helps her sister run this bakery automatically, like very cozy. But maybe halfway through the vibe completely did a 180. And then it became this very possessive relationship, like this, oh, you're mine, no one else is, no one else can have you, you're mine. And that became like this whole thing, and it wasn't cute anymore for me. I don't know, it completely, the whole vibe and dynamic completely shifted. It almost felt like a completely different author wrote it. The vibe changed that much. I can't even explain it, but it completely, I was completely turned off by it at that point. Like, it's not what I had in mind, and it was no longer cozy at that point. It completely took all of the coziness away from me. And that's not what I expected from it. It became more dark at that point. It almost felt like more of a dark romance instead of this cozy, because this cover is cozy. This cover is cozy and cute. And he looks very sweet here, and very much like a gentleman, and just very sweet and kind and polite. And that's the vibe that I thought I was getting with this. And from the back, it feels like it's gonna be very cute and cozy. Spicy, yes, it does say spicy. You do get spice. That was fine. The spice was fine. But what you get halfway through is not that. What you get halfway through is more like dark romance. And I don't mind dark romance sometimes, but this was very much like possessive, controlling, like, it's just not what I expected, and that's not what I thought I was getting into with this. And like I said, it was a complete turn off whenever I thought I was getting cozy and witchy and like cutesy. It's not. In the beginning, yeah, but then I don't know if the author got pissed halfway through this or what. It's like a completely different person who wrote the second part of the book. I don't know, it was really weird. Okay, it's a romance, so I expected it to be a little cheesy. This was like over the top cheesy. It was very, very cheesy, like almost juvenile. So that was bad. That did not work. It was very over the top cheesy. There's a playlist that goes with this that I thought was really nice. It was a nice touch that there was a playlist, but even the playlist was very cheesy. I mean, some of the songs weren't. Some of the songs were cool, but there was a lot of, like, I don't know, just, it didn't work. Overall, it just didn't work. I gave this like a 2.5 stars. It would have been, if it hadn't been for that complete shift in mood halfway through it, it would have been a 3 star, maybe 3.5, but that shift in mood completely ruined this for me. The second one I read was Razorblad and the Fun Size Candy. And this had several authors in it. It's edited by Paul Lobachewski. I'm probably butchering that name. This had several authors in it that I've heard of, including Jeff Strand, Damian Casey, and Kyra R. Torres. They're the ones that wrote Hot Pink Satanism. We have Bridget Nelson. Bridget Nelson is the author who wrote What the Fuck Was That? I know you've heard me mention that book. It was a book of short stories that was really good. It was a slasher. John Wayne Communell, I believe that's how you pronounce that name. The editor, Paul, he wrote one of the stories in here that was really good. So yeah, lots of authors that I'd heard of wrote some of the stories in here. This was a book of short stories that were comedy horror. Now, the name of this I thought was going to be more Halloween, but this did not have a Halloween. None of these stories were Halloween, which is fine. I still had a great time reading it. I had a lot of fun, actually. None of them were overly scary. None of them were really scary at all to me. They were more fun, and I'm not complaining about that because it was a good time. And you guys know I don't mind comedy horror. It's something that I enjoy reading. So I did have some favorites. My favorites. I'm laughing because I'm remembering them. Now, I will admit some of them were a little too silly. There were some that were really just disgusting. And I mean disgusting. But I did have some favorites. And they were Voodoo Lemonade by Michael Allen Rose. That was really good. It's about a little girl in her lemonade stand. And all I will say is it's a revenge story. She gets some revenge. Voodoo Lemonade. That was really good. The Assassination of Mr. Baltusberger by John Baltusberger. And it features, like, all of the authors are characters in the story. And I thought it was really clever. No Pets Allowed by Paul Lebachewski. Really good. It's a werewolf story. I enjoyed that one a lot. Is That Voodoo Doll Anatomically Correct by Robert Essig. That one was really good too. You can only imagine. I cannot even tell you anything about it because I don't want to ruin it if you read this, but that one was really good. Now, my very favorite, you could probably even guess the author because I go on and on about this author all the time, but my very favorite, don't even know if I'm allowed to say these words on YouTube. I'll just say it because there's no turning back now, but Torture Porn for Prudes by Jeff Strand. Oh my god, it's not scary. It's just hilarious, and you know it's the banter because he's known for his banter, and it is so damn funny. I had my AirPods in listening to piano music because my kids were being so damn loud last night. So I had my piano music in my ear because I'm trying to like be all zen reading my horror book. And when I have my piano music in, I can't hear anything except for that. And I also forget that like people can hear me sometimes. And I don't realize how loud I'm laughing because like I'm laughing to myself. And I think I'm just like giggling. No, I'm laughing so loud. So I like am reading and I look up at one of my kids is like right here. And I'm like, pause my music. What? And he's like, why are you laughing so loud? What is so funny? And I'm like, I cannot even tell you. It's not kid appropriate. I just like keep reading. It was so funny. Oh man. I would love a whole book on that story because it was hilarious. It was so funny. But yeah, I had a great time reading this. It was a good laugh. Yeah, they weren't all 100% hits, but those few that I mentioned were my top favorites. They were great, and I gave the whole book 4 stars. So, good time. Last book I read was Interview with the Devil Resurrection by Michael Harbron. This is the second book in the series. I know you saw me, in case you missed the last one, I will link that video down below. I gave it 5 stars. I gave this one 5 stars as well. These books are so good. I'm so into this series. I can't get enough of it. I can't. I'm gonna be really bummed when this series is over. I have one more left in this. I don't know if he's writing more books or not, but I have the 3rd one left, and I'll be reading it pretty soon. So I'll read you the back. I'll read you the back because I don't want to like mess it up. It says, in the gripping second installment of the series, Joseph Banbury ventures further into the realms of the supernatural, wielding newfound powers that challenge his understanding of good and evil. As he navigates a treacherous path fraught with peril and deception, Joseph confronts his inner demons while forging an unlikely alliance with the devil himself. With each step closer to the truth, Joseph unravels dark secrets that bind him to his fate, culminating in a chilling revelation that shakes the foundations of his existence. Will Joseph succumb to his destiny and change the course of humanity forever? Oh, this one gets darker and more disturbing than the first one. I can tell you that. If you decide to read this, check trigger warnings if you have triggers. So good. It was very captivating, intriguing. It was thought-provoking. Like, oh my goodness, it's so good. Time is a big theme in this one. Like, time has changed the characters. You have a lot of characters from the original one, and they've brought in new characters as well, but time has definitely changed the original characters. And I will say that fame and some other factors have changed Joseph especially, and you'd have to read it to find out what those other factors are. But Joseph he's gone through a transformation, you could say. Yeah, he's definitely changed. And also you see a new side of the devil, and you see a new side of hell as well in this one. But the devil he's still very fascinating. You're seeing a lot more of him in this book. Because I told you in the last one, you don't get the actual interview until the end of the book. In this one, you are seeing a lot more of the devil. So, and he is fascinating. I like him as a character because he's very interesting. You're still getting glimpses of Joseph's childhood, but it's a lot faster paced. So like last time I told you it was slow paced because it was a lot of world building, it was a lot of character building. This time it is a lot faster paced because the author, Michael Harbron, he was able to run with the plot, because last one he did such a good job of world building, character building, that this time he was able to just go. He was able to just go with the plot, get right into it. And it really, he just dived right in. I told you guys that time is a big theme in this one, and I would like to read you a couple of quotes. Time, Joseph, is strange. It's not linear. It's a complex weave. Fates entwine, ordinary events dictate great happenings, and little people end up doing big things. And then later, the end of the line is the starting point. The starting point is the epilogue of a tale already told. It's cyclical and rhythmic. So yeah, time is a huge, huge theme in this. Of course, also, there's commentary on religious trauma, and also LGBTQ rep, and also like the LGBTQ in reference to religion and religious trauma and all that. So it's really good. It's very thought-provoking. There was a part in here that referenced Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn that I thought was really clever. I love his writing style. Everything is so descriptive, and I mean, it felt like I was there. Like every time I read these books, it feels like I'm there. Like the scary scenes, the intense scenes, like they are so intense because it feels like I am there. I could see everything, I could feel everything. It's so vivid. But yeah, I'm obsessed with these books. I'm obsessed with this series, and I'm gonna be really bummed when they're over. So good. So those are all the books, or at least all the books that I read for Halloween-a-thon. There were others, but those were all the ones that I read for Halloween-a-thon for that week. For week 6, you'll be getting week 6 next week, but you'll be seeing me before then. You'll be seeing me on Friday, because Friday will be a November TBR video. But week 6, you'll be getting a shorter, like it's not a full week. So week 6, you'll be getting like the pumpkin carving one way or another, and the spooky painting, and you know, hopefully some movies and some more books and stuff. For sure some more books. But anyways, I'll be seeing you before then. I'll be seeing you on Friday for my November TBR. So I will see you on Friday. Bye for now.